Coming up on R&B Reviews, a movie featuring popular toys hits the big screen in The Lego Movie. Very much for checking out R&B Reviews. The Lego Movie has been the #1 movie in the US for the last 3 weeks, and it follows a figure named Emmett who works as a construction worker. But his ordinary way of life changes when he meets Wildstyle, a woman with stripes in her hair, and it turns out that Emmett might be something called the Special, a person who's supposed to find the piece of resistance which will stop an evil dictator-like leader named Lord Business. And joining them on this mission includes a wizard, a Batman figure, and a unicorn cat named Unikitty.
That Lord Business plans to end the world as we know it. There is yet one hope. The Special has arisen.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
The Lego Movie was a movie that I admit I was kind of unsure about when I first saw the trailers for it, but after seeing it do pretty well at the box office the last few weeks, I was thinking, you know, maybe there's something more to this movie than I thought. But overall, I left the theater thinking it had its moments, but I found it to be just an alright movie. Like The Great Gatsby that came out with Leonardo DiCaprio, I found the beginning of the movie to be so rapid that I really had a hard time connecting with the characters in the plot that we're supposed to follow. It was like the movie was trying to jam so much in, including a quick lecture about the prophecy involving the Special, who these characters were, and plenty of almost non-stop action, which could be a little bit jarring sometimes. And sometimes I felt like I was just sitting in the theater not really caring about what was going on. But I think once the movie slows down about halfway through, and when Emmett and his group are trying to figure out how to take Lord Business down, I really became more involved there. I got to see scenes where Emmett was talking with Wildstyle about, about what if he's not really the Special and what could happen to them. And I think it also featured a lot of moments that I think people could really relate to. And I think that really helped me get into the story much more. While the comedy of parody film cliches I found to be amusing, what I really liked about the Lego Movie was the satire on how everyone has to follow the same instructions, like listen to the same music, and also if you're different or you do something different than against the rules of the Lego world, you're looked down upon. And I really enjoyed the theme of the importance of creativity. And as I mentioned, I thought that the second half to feature situations I could sympathize with and find very relevant. I think the Lego Movie itself is a very harmless movie for the kids and family, but I think there were other computer animated films that I think did a much better job at developing their characters better. For example, the theme of working together, for example, more recently, Wreck-It Ralph, or if you want a classic example, the Toy Story movies. I think the Lego Movie is doing pretty well because Legos are a classic toy and there are a lot of people that have grown up with them. And there are many sets that are showcased in the film, but I disagree with the criticism that this is just one big commercial to try and show off all the sets. I mean, they're there, but I didn't see the movie as one giant commercial. Another thing, of course, is that here in the U.S., a lot of parts, we had a very bad winter, and a lot of parts, there were people that were stuck indoors a lot, and I think the Lego Movie offers the chance for people to get out of their homes with their family, and there aren't really too many family films that are playing right now, so the Lego Movie is a perfect option for them. And there's also a lot of pop culture references that I think fans can spot as well. The Lego Movie I didn't think was a horrible film. I found it to be amusing, and I think it's harmless fun that's suited for the families and of course fans of Legos, but I feel it's just not the best animated movie that a lot of people are really saying right now. I think it definitely will fit its target audience pretty well, and I definitely think it works as a movie-going experience. So, and even though I didn't really love it quite as much as everybody else did, so for that, I'm going to give the movie a mild see it in theaters recommendation. Alright, that's my review of the Lego Movie. Feel free to post your comments about what you thought of the film. What was it that you liked about it? What is it that you disagree with me about? Go ahead and post your thoughts. And if you want to look at the other reviews on the R&B Reviews, just go to the main page and have a look. Thanks very much for watching, and I'm now going to leave you with a recap of movies that have recently been reviewed on the channel. But I thought The Wolf of Wall Street was one of the most fun that I had in the movies for some time. I thought it had great acting all around, characters, and a story that I could invest interest in, even if these weren't really the greatest people in the world, situations that I could not get my eyes off of, and creative technical aspects of it.
Like something new, basically. I mean, it's not like a typical World War II movie. This was like a little bit different. So it had a different standpoint. Plus, it's like a different chapter of World War II that they don't talk about.
What the movie was trying to say, and I liked the performances. I just thought it was a little bit slow and at times a little bit forced. But, you know, again, like you said, it's very well shot. You do feel like you're in the time period. The film, I also thought, did a good job at giving each of the lead characters some good scenes. You know, a chance for us to, the audience to get to know them, as well as to kind of create a nice balance between everybody. While there were some moments that seemed to go on, and sometimes the actors did overreact a little bit, again, Jennifer Lawrence, as I mentioned, and granted, I don't think this movie is quite as good as some of Russell's other films, especially The Fighter and Silver Linings Playbook. And the action scenes weren't really suspenseful or even really all that good. I felt like the movie was also full of plot holes as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can pick apart that didn't make sense. Like, if people aren't really supposed to see these big battles going on, you figure, like, if they're happening in the street, somebody would notice.
I think if anything, anybody that's really going to enjoy this is people that enjoyed the graphic novel that had to do with this, but other people that have never read it, or they're not familiar with this type of stuff, or they're not into this type of stuff, I don't think would even bother with it.